Alright, what's going on, guys? It's VinVin520 coming at you again with another Gears of War commentary, but this time with a special guest. Say what's up, Chrome.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Chrome. Really glad to be here doing this dual commentary with Vinny.
Alright, so Chrome, how about you tell us what your YouTube channel is about and how you got started?
Yeah, man, for sure. So basically, I just started up in April, so I just started last month. And if you watch my previous video, the Why Do You Play Video Games, I go into it a little more in depth. But in general, I just enjoy gaming. It's a lot of fun for me. And I just do it for the pure enjoyment, recreational enjoyment, and I want to just share it with the community. So that's basically, how I got started. I've always been a part of the gaming community, but I just started up the channel last month.
Very nice.
So that's how I got into YouTube. And I noticed you had a YouTube channel for a little while, right?
Yeah, I started about pretty much the same exact time as you. I mean, I started about April 3rd or something like that. I don't know. It's when I actually started posting videos. I've had, all the equipment for a while to make videos, and I did put a video out sometime in October, but it was just, like a throwaway video. It was me and my cousin doing stuff in Borderlands and stuff like that. And I really got lazy after I did it. I don't know, I just dreaded making videos for some reason. But then all of a sudden I got like this intense passion for it. And now I love making videos as it is right now. I'm always trying to do something like interesting, trying to always be entertaining. And I think the obsession with starting YouTube for me came as a kid. Because I always remember as a child wanting to record my gameplay and show people, because I had a lot of friends in school that I always tell about things that I did in video games and then they wouldn't believe me, and I always hated them not believing me for it. So I mean, now I can finally showcase it, so it's kind of cool. But
oh yeah,
certainly. What we wanted to talk about today was how we both got into Gears of War, so what is it about Gears of War that brings us back as, fans or whatever, things like that. So how about you tell us how you got started, Chrome?
For sure. So like I said, I've been gaming for a while, and as far as the Gears of War franchise, I've started playing since Gears of War 1. What really drew me to it was the campaign, and that's... it was different, the whole cover system. It was just a new thing. The graphics were great. And, but as far as multiplayer, I did play Gears 1 and 2 multiplayer, but I started to get really more heavily into it in Gears of War 3, and of course now, as far as the multiplayer side of things. Now, the biggest thing that drew me to Gears was it wasn't Call of Duty. And I've played all the Call of Duties too, since it came out. The old ones too, Call of Duty 2, all the Modern Warfares, Call of Duty 3, which was kind of interesting. And I had a lot of fun with that. But when Gears came out, the biggest thing was it was so different. Yeah. That's what drew me to it. It wasn't just run and gun. I was like, dude, there's more strategy to this. I got to think about how I'm going to approach this now. I can't just run around and just run and gun, which is basically kind of what Call of Duty is, although, it's fun. It still is fun. It mainly, if people play it, if I play it, it's mainly just to play with friends at this point. Yeah, but exactly. I do enjoy Gears a little better than Call of Duty. But that's basically how I got into it. It wasn't Call of Duty. It was different, more tactical, more strategic.
Very nice, very nice. And for me, it's much of the same story. I remember actually, again, I started getting into Gears of War when I was about 12 years old. I used to get the Game Informer magazines, and I remember seeing one in particular which showed the game Gears of War 1. And, let me just go off topic real quick. Gears of War 1 was actually not supposed to be as successful or as popular as it was, because it was actually released just so they could test the Unreal 3 engine. So, yeah, that's just a cool little tidbit. But like I was saying, I got into Gears of War because I saw the Game Informer magazine, and I saw all these, really cool-looking space-age, alien-type characters, and, younger me was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I remember in that particular magazine, they released what the map Mansion looked like, and they even gave, specific strategies on how to play the map, if you had a 4-man squad, what you would do in particular to get, the most effective positions against a team. And I just thought that was cool because, again, it was strategy. I had to, think about it. And, I always imagined myself playing with 4 other people and having this really elite team. And something about that is just always cool, whether it be in TV shows or video games. When there's like people who know what they're doing and they do it so efficiently and effectively, it just always blows my mind. But
big time, dude.
Exactly. And you know, the violence always, that brings you to the game as well. I mean, that's what the game was made for, the violence and everything. But again, like you, it's not that Call of Duty brought me there either. I just saw the game and got like extremely excited about it because it was new, you know, from everything I'd ever played. And I actually had just gotten Xbox Live at the time that Gears of War 1 came out. So it was very cool for me to finally be playing online with other people. It's something I never experienced before, and it was something I really wasn't ready for. I mean, my very first game I got into was a ranked match because I didn't know, you know, there was like settings and stuff like that. I just clicked on get into a game, and this guy in the game, his name was Chronic Diarrhea. I remember this like it was yesterday, and I remember having my little microphone and telling everybody, "Oh, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing?" And this guy was like, "Shut the fuck up, you idiot." I'm like,
seriously?
Yeah, dude. The first thing I said, the first guy, he was like, "Shut the fuck up, you idiot." And then I thought to myself, like, wow, that guy's not nice. And then, like, you know, younger me was like, oh, God. I got like, scared for some reason because I'm like, nobody's ever talked to me like that. So,
and that's the thing, dude, is, you know, once I got into Gears 2, you know, I was a total noob, you know, and it's just like, you go into a game, and it's like, I don't know if it's the most friendly game to get into, you know, for new players.
It's not. I think
because it's almost I
think that's why the game isn't really as popular as it should be. Like, I think the Gears of War franchise it is popular, but it definitely could be more popular. And one of the reasons for that is because the players of the game have, you know, ruined the community in a sense. I mean, you know, if you go on the forums, people are usually pretty nice, but then there's always those jerk-offs that have to correct everybody or have to be mean about stuff. But the game just has so much animosity, you know, like, it's weird, because, like, for me, it's one of those games I get really passionate about. Even to this day, if I'm playing Gears of War 1, because, you know, Judgment came with Gears of War 1, if I'm playing it, then, and I'm like, let's say it's a 3-on-1 situation, I still get that heart-pounding feeling, you know, and it's a rush, and I like the rush, because, like I said, again, it's about me trying to be entertaining. I'm trying to get that 3-on-1 clutch so I can get that reaction at the end of the game. But yeah, but I mean,
and you know, that's the biggest thing, dude, is like the community, and you know, it's like for me, and I posted a video just on this topic, you know, but you can go on for days about this, but it's like for me, it's half and half. You know, it's like half the people are great, they're friendly. Like you and I, we're part of the Gears community. You know, we're talking about it. But then you get those people who are just like, man, like, what's your problem, dude? You're just kind of like ruining it for everybody, you know? And honestly, I know that's with any game. And I think it's just a gaming thing in general. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Gears or Call of Duty or whatever, League of Legends or World of Warcraft. It's just, you get those people who take the game so seriously, like it's life or death.
Yeah.
That, like, that's their number one priority, that they kind of tend to make it a negative experience for other players.
Yeah.
So, but that's in general. Sometimes, and I think the best thing to do is you just gotta really know where you stand as a gamer, as an individual gamer, and basically just learn how to overlook that kind of stuff, overlook that negativity, and just stay true to why you play games, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I became impervious to stuff like that when I was about 15 years old. I mean, because, like, that was when Gears of War 2 came out. And I think around Gears of War 2 is when most of the animosity started, because that was when more of the newer players started getting into the game. Because Gears of War 1, it was very successful, but it wasn't like everybody was on it all day, you know? Like, I mean, I had a select few friends. I had about 7 friends back in the day that I would play with every single day, and we just had a blast every single night, you know? We would play from about 8 o'clock p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard, to 3 o'clock a.m. every single night, and, like, it was just game after game after game after game, and it was ridiculous. It was always fun, and those were the people that I actually still do miss. I still have them on my friends list, but we don't talk as much. You know, people just drift apart. But it's just
right. It's just, and I think that's the best part, dude, of a game. or that's what makes the game better is the people you play with. Just like anything else, man. The company you keep, the people you play with, the relationships you build.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the coolest part. Hey, but I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Judgment?
What do I think
it's
about
still
Judgment?
fairly new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I came out with a commentary. It was my first commentary, which was my thoughts on Judgment, and I mean, it was kind of like I don't know. I don't want to call it a poor commentary because I mean, you should be proud of everything you put out, but it could have been a lot better. But let's touch on things in Judgment. So originally, I thought to myself when they were coming out with Judgment, I'm not gonna buy that game because it's Gears of War 3.5. You know, so I was originally not swayed by the game at all. I was upset because, you know, like I said, I had another commentary again about, like, you go through these phases when it's games in general, but, like, you know, you go through these phases where you can't play the game the right way, you just get frustrated and you hate it. And I was in one of those phases with Gears of War 3. So I was telling myself, no, I'm not going to get Judgment. The game is not going to be good. It's Gears 3.5. And then, you know, closer to its release date, I saw them talking about all these cool things, you know, like the free-for-all mode, which I was very skeptical about at first. And I was very afraid to play it, you know. But then, like, I was watching a couple of Arctic's videos, and they were talking about, you know, all the holding the boom shield with any weapon you want, and the no down but not out system, the change in the cogs. Like, you know, there's no Locust in regular multiplayer except for Overrun. And I remember thinking, like, how is this a Gears game? You know, I'm like, they're trying to make it Call of Duty so they can get more money. And it's very funny when you get into the game because it's like it can cater to a newer player, but like if you are a hardcore player, you can still have fun on the game. That doesn't mean it's perfect by any means necessary, however, you know. There are still a lot of things that are wrong with that game. You know, the Scorcher is unbelievable. The Scorcher is ridiculous. The range on it is too much, and it has a bloom to it that is just, I can't even handle that gun. I can't. I'm sorry. You know?
Yeah.
And, okay, sorry.
And everything you just said, I pretty much agree with. I agree with everything you said. And my I didn't do a video on, like, my first impressions of Judgment.
Uh-huh.
But my first impressions, it was like, wow. Like, I was like, what game am I playing? I was like, it was so shockingly different. It took a while to get used to.
Yeah.
And it was like, am I playing Halo? The sticky grenades?
Oh, yeah.
Am I playing Call of Duty, run and gun? You know, the reticle in the middle of the screen. It took me a while to get used to it. I was like, it feels like Gears. It still feels like Gears in a way, but it also felt like Call of Duty and also felt like Halo. And they fixed this, but when it was crazy two-piece melee, it was like, God. Okay, Mortal Kombat. Dude. It was like
Mortal Kombat.
I was like, it was crazy. It was just like insane. But they fixed it, you know. They kind of fixed it.
You know what they need to get rid of in regards to the melee. They need to make it so you can't shoot and melee immediately. Because what I find is that when people get into gunfights and they get really close up, they just don't want to finish the gunfight. You know, so they kind of. Because I remember hearing something. I think it was from my cousin. He was saying how the developers at Epic, they never wanted Gears of War to just be a shotgun only type game. So like the way you see a lot of the ranked players play, which is heavy Lancer, you know, always in cover all the time. That's more of what they wanted the game to be. You know, they didn't want they didn't want there to be wall bouncing. They didn't want there to be any of that stuff. But that stuff was just all like exploits. You know, even wall bouncing in itself is like, it's not a glitch, but it's an exploit. You know, it's not something that they wanted to have in the game. But they can't get rid of it because it's such a staple now. Yeah. You know?
For sure. And, you know, as far as, you know, the melee, Gears, I liked it in Gears 3 because you couldn't immediately melee right after you shot or vice versa. It was a little bit of a delay that was enough to make people not rely on it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Not relying on the melee as a first line of defense.
I mean, unless you were a sawed-off player. If you were a sawed-off player, you know, you ran out of a shot, that's what you had to do. But I feel like for some reason, whenever somebody had a sawed-off in that game and they shot at me and meleeed, their melee was like outrageously long. But I remember, I remember actually playing the Gears of War 3 beta. I'm not sure if you played the beta, but the beta was the perfect form of Gears of War 3. I swear to you, like if you played it, There was nothing. There was not one thing that they did wrong. But then once the game actually came out, they kind of they reduced the range on the shotgun a little bit because people were complaining about that. But I thought it was perfect. Because I like the
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I didn't get a chance to play the beta, but what you said is pretty much what I heard, that people really liked it the way it was, for the most part.
It was perfect. I mean, when the full game came out, don't get me wrong, it was still good, but I think the beta the very first version of it was the absolute best that the game ever was. And then they started releasing all these updates, which, sponging started to come into play more once those updates started coming out. And then my most hated thing in all of Gears of War, which still exists in Gears of War Judgment, I don't know why, is the evade error. And I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that.
No, tell me about that.
No, you've never heard about it? So the evade error, it started in Gears of War 3, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a lag issue that the game, for some reason, cannot fix. Where when you roll or evade, your character hitbox stays exactly where you were standing at the point of the roll. So
and it kind of results in sponging.
Yeah, it results in sponging. Yeah. But what happens is, like, when you got into a fight with someone with a sawed off, you would jump away from them, and then you would be like, "Oh, how did I get killed?" After they killed you. And what that was is, like I said, when you jumped away, it was as if your body was still standing in the exact same spot, and your hitbox only moved after you were out of the roll. Understand?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I see what you're saying. No, yeah, I didn't know it was called the evade error, but I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's and it still exists in Judgment. I find myself jumping away from people and still getting killed, and I'm like, how is this possible?
Right. Right.
It's
so with all of that said, like as far as like Judgment, and with like if you just compare Judgment to Gears 3. When I was playing Gears 3, and I actually still play it from time to time because it's still fun for me.
Me too.
When I was playing Gears 3, people were just basically talking so much crap about it. And then Judgment comes out, and now I feel like now we're going to talk crap about Judgment. And I didn't mention this before, but okay, there's a new DLC coming out, right?
Yep.
And it's going to have some new maps. They're going to bring back Checkout and some new character and weapon skins. But already, like, the conversation on Twitter is, almost kind of being too scrutinizing and criticizing it already before it's even coming out. And this is where it's like, dude, I mean, just chill out, man. Just play the game. Yeah. It's like it's not going to ever be perfect. Like, at least I don't think so. I mean, perfect to somebody may not be perfect to somebody else. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, so anyways, it's just, for what it is, for what it's worth, I enjoy playing it. It's fun. And I don't get too overly critical about gameplay mechanics. I'm aware of them. I'm aware of, certain things that may be an issue or not, but the reasoning stands is I still play. It's fun, and I don't get too caught up in it just because, I just think at the end of the day, it's not worth the stress. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I feel the exact
So
same
that's
way.
been the most challenging thing for me, and what I'm trying to do with my channel is spread a little more positivity into the Gears community and just kind of start getting away from this notion of the perfect Gears game and getting away from the criticizing. Now, there's a way to talk about it. There's a way you can talk about it constructively, like, hey, this really is a problem. And there are, like, real legitimate issues that, that probably shouldn't be that way.
Yeah,
in the game.
exactly.
We should probably fix that. But again, and I said this in a previous video, it's kind of how the majority of the community talks about it.
Yeah.
They talk about it in an unproductive way that just spreads negativity and toxicity. So
that actually reminds me of I used to be an active member on the forums. I kind of quit the forums ever since I actually got banned on the Gears of War forums because I remember at one point playing the game one day, I got so frustrated that I was like, Epic, fix this fucking game. Like, I literally wrote that in the title of my forum thread, and I just complained about everything that was wrong, and then I check back to my forum, I can't log in, and it's like, they send me an email, your account has been banned. Reason why, trolling. I'm like, how am I trolling when I'm telling you what's wrong with your product? I'm trying to help you to increase the quality of your product, and you're getting mad at me and calling me a troll for it. So, I mean, I've been a lot less active on the forums. I mean, I just recently created a new account, but I haven't been on it too much.
I don't even have an account. I don't have a forum account. I rarely, well, actually, I've never posted on there. Once in a great while, if I see a link to some information that the developers post, like, hey, there's this DLC coming out, I'll click the link to read it, but I don't necessarily, I'm not active on the forums at all. Maybe I will be, but I haven't found a need to do that yet at all. In general, it's just mainly just been the YouTube channel and my gaming Twitter, just so people can connect with me and kind of talk a little bit. Yeah.
Well, the forum is a very good place for you to learn, a lot of interesting things. That's how I learned about the evade, and everything, because people break games down. Like if you've ever been to the Borderlands forums, there's so many ridiculous things that these people can break down about the game. Because Borderlands just has so many gameplay mechanics that can be exploited. So, like, you wouldn't even think, you play Borderlands, you get a gun. You're like, oh, it's a gun, I'm going to shoot it. Now, here you don't know. This gun has, X amount of damage that can be multiplied by something, that can be multiplied by something else. And people find this stuff out. So, it's always like, if you want to know about something that you don't understand or something, it's a very helpful learning tool. But it's one that you have to use with extreme caution and extreme discretion. Because, if you go on there and you say the wrong things, people will, like, destroy your life. Because people...
Big time. And that kind of goes back to and what I was saying is, like, it's how you talk about it. That's the biggest thing. Because you can come across really as a jerk. If you come across that way, I mean, people aren't really going to like you, whether you care or not. It's just going to cause more damage than the good you were trying to initially do in the first place.
Exactly.
And I will acknowledge this. Epic and the community's communication, and this is true, it really hasn't been the best.
No.
And I think it's because there's this huge disconnect in communication. And this is what I was trying to say in the problem recognition video. It's like, you're not going to connect with Epic or vice versa if we're going to be talking about the game in this manner. But that has been a major issue. It's like sometimes it'll be clear cut what the Gears community as a majority wants.
Exactly.
Yet they'll do the opposite. It's like, where was the logic in that, man?
Yeah.
What was the logic in that?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. No, you keep going. You had a thought.
I was gonna say, but at the end of the day, shit happens, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's life. It's a life lesson, you got to deal with it,
Exactly. But I think, like, what you were saying right there, I don't think in particular it's just Epic. I think it's game communities in general. Again, this goes back to Borderlands. There are so many bugs and problems in that game that need to be addressed. And the community, I mean, the developers are just not fixing these problems. They are just ignoring, like, these people. Randy Pitchfork has gotten so much hate, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on the forums, anywhere. People say, you don't listen to us. You make us pay all this money for your game that we love, and then you don't fix it. Why should we keep buying your games? And the reason they don't fix these problems is because they know people like the games, and people will still buy the games regardless of these problems. If they like the game enough and you're a fan, that's it. They know they got you. And that's kind of what happened in Gears of War 3. They came out with the 1 season pass, 4 DLCs that came out within the first 4 months of the game. And then what? We had nothing after that. Nothing. No support, no talk. I mean, they maybe released a couple of updates every now and again, but the updates were always minimal, and it never really changed anything. It just kind of always made the game a little bit worse, in my opinion. And I know you were talking about the Gears games. They can't be perfect. No game can be perfect. But a game can be fixed, and stuff can be tolerable. If there's something that's completely intolerable, and they just blindly ignoring you to it, then, where are we as gamers? Why do we support these communities or these, these developers?
See, that's going to be the most challenging thing, because to me as a gamer, it's tolerable for me. I can tolerate it. But see, that's just one gamer's opinion.
Exactly.
And to others, they can just say, you know what, that's not tolerable. I can't handle that. You need to change this, fix this game right now, or whatever. And it's so that's going to be the biggest challenging thing, is trying to please everybody, especially with the Gears community, which is a very, I think, a very divided community. You have people who love Judgment, like literally, like, I love this game. They love Judgment. And then you have people who probably bought it and traded it back in and are not playing it anymore.
Exactly.
Because they literally hate it. Like, even if they're a hardcore Gears fans.
I know. I remember checking out the forums again. Sorry, I'm bringing up the forums so much, but I remember seeing like this one guy. I don't know how big he was in Gears of War, or like YouTube or anything, but the first thread of Judgment was, "I'm taking this game back. I can't stand it. I'm playing Gears of War 3." And I mean, I think when the game first came out, that was an understandable thought because there was a lot wrong. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary that you have to go bring the whole game back. You know, just give it a shot.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've been getting used to it. I still go back and forth and play 3 in Judgment, and I'm just trying to have a good time and trying to keep my perspective looking at the big picture, because I know, my YouTube channel is a gaming channel. It's just going to be game talk, but I want to bring a little bit of my philosophy into it, just because, at the end of the day, it's like, look at your life and look at the big picture. How important is this game?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's very true.
So that's why I try to say, guys, it's just a game. Go do something else. Go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, go
for
get
a little
life.
while, and then and then when you feel better, then come back and play it. You know what I mean? I'm sure you'll come back and play the game. So yeah. So anyways, good talk, man. Good commentary. I was thinking we should probably wrap it up. I gotta get going to my banquet.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'm sorry to hold you up. Yeah, no, definitely. Well, guys, this has been me and Chrome. I really hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out Chrome's channel, and have a nice day, dude. Don't forget to check out my videos as well. But right now, the main topic is Chrome, so go to his videos.
Hey guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this. Vinny's awesome. Definitely check out his channel. He's a great guy. And other than that, stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you next time. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this commentary with Chrome. He's a really great guy. You should check out his videos. And if you liked this video, let me know. We're definitely looking to do more stuff. Or if you want to do a dual commentary with me as well, just ask me. Hit me up in personal message and let me know what's going on. I'm more than willing to talk, guys. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a nice day, guys. Peace.